When one team is handed 33 free throws and the other gets just 8, you already know how the story ends. It wasn't just a loss for the Liberty, it felt like the refs gift-wrapped the game for the Lynx. The matchup already carried weight. The Liberty were grinding through the final stretch of a tough road trip, bodies tired but eyes fixed on a statement win. The Lynx, confident, physical, and ready to defend home court. From the opening tip, it wasn't just basketball, it felt like a fight for control. New York came in with 6 different players averaging double-figure minutes, a roster deep enough to punish opponents in waves. But against Minnesota, every possession carried tension. The Liberty had to claw for buckets while the Lynx leaned on their signature physical style, bumps, grabs, and contact that set the tone. That would have been fine if the whistles matched the action, but it didn't take long for everyone watching to realize something was off. The fouls weren't being called evenly, and the imbalance only grew as the game went on. And that's where the story really begins. For a moment, it looked like the Liberty had cracked the code. Kennedy Burke came off the bench with instant energy. Maureen Johannes stretched the floor with her shooting, and suddenly the offense had rhythm. Natasha Cloud pushed the pace, threading passes into lanes that seemed invisible seconds before. It wasn't just one player, it was everyone. 6 Liberty players would finish in double figures, proof of a balanced attack that kept them alive through the grind. Every bucket felt like defiance. The crowd was buzzing, the momentum was shifting, and the Liberty were doing what great teams do, turning fatigue into fuel. But in games like this, momentum is fragile, and just when New York started to believe, the cracks began to show. Minnesota didn't panic. They tightened the defense, slowed the pace, and waited for the whistles that seemed to come right on cue. Each trip to the line wasn't just free points, it was a reset button, cooling the Liberty's rhythm and letting the Lynx breathe while New York burned energy. Then came the gut punch, a 12-2 run that flipped the scoreboard. It wasn't flashy, but it was devastating. And right in the middle of it, Kayla McBride pulled up from deep, a dagger 3 that silenced New York's surge. That shot wasn't just points on the board, it was a momentum thief, snatching away everything the Liberty had built. The scoreboard told one story, the free throw column told another, and together they created the storm Breanna Stewart and her teammates couldn't outrun. This is where the game stopped feeling like basketball and started feeling like a rigged equation. By the final buzzer, the Lynx had walked to the free throw line 33 times. The Liberty, just 8. That's not a gap, that's a canyon. Every time New York strung together a run, the whistle cut it short. Stewart fought for position in the post only to get tagged for contact she swore was happening both ways. Guards tried to slash into the lane, met with bodies, arms, and bumps. Nothing. On the other end, the slightest brush sent Minnesota straight to the stripe. Breanna Stewart couldn't hide it. She glared at officials after one no call, threw her arms up after another, and by the 4th quarter, her frustration boiled over. It wasn't just anger, it was disbelief. How do you compete when the rules seem tilted against you? And Stewart wasn't alone. The Liberty bench erupted after yet another phantom foul. Sandy Brondeau shook her head with that look only coaches get when they've had enough. And fans online were already calling it what it felt like, a gift. But as much as the numbers screamed unfair, the game still had to be played. And that's when the final stretch delivered the cruelest twist. With under 5 minutes left, the Liberty still had a shot. Stewart knocked down a jumper, Johannes hit from deep, and suddenly it was back within reach. You could feel it. One more push and New York might just steal this game, but that's exactly when the bottom dropped out. Minnesota strung together a 12-2 run fueled by whistles that broke New York's rhythm. Each foul call sent the Lynx to the stripe, slowing the pace and stacking the lead one quiet free throw at a time, and then came the dagger. Kayla McBride, with the clock winding down, pulled up from nearly 30 feet. Splash. A shot that didn't just stretch the lead, it broke New York's spirit. Stewart's shoulders slumped, Brondello threw her arms up, and just like that, the Liberty's comeback story was over. It wasn't that they stopped fighting, it was that every fight ended at the line and every rally got cut before it could breathe. For a team built on depth, hustle, and firepower, losing to the whistle hurt more than losing to the opponent, but the frustration didn't end with the scoreboard. What came next turned the loss into a statement. When the final buzzer sounded, the Liberty didn't just lose a game, they lost their patience. Breanna Stewart's face said it all. Clenched jaw, eyes locked on the officials, walking off with the look of someone who knew the battle had been bigger than basketball. Head coach Sandy Brondeau didn't sugarcoat it. In the press room, her words were sharp, simple, and cutting. Just be fair. That was it. No rant, no theatrics, just a plea that carried the weight of everything her team had endured across 40 minutes of lopsided whistles. Stewart echoed the sentiment without needing to say much. Her visible outrage during the game, hands in the air after yet another no call, disbelief etched on her face, became the lasting image fans clipped, shared, and blasted across social media. Liberty supporters weren't just frustrated, they were furious. Clips of the free throw disparity spread instantly, and the conversation shifted from X's and O's to accountability. For the Lynx, it was a win in the standings. For the Liberty, it was something deeper, a reminder that even a powerhouse roster can't always overcome the human element of officiating. And when one team is gifted 33 free throws while the other gets barely a fraction, it stops being about execution and starts being about fairness. This wasn't just another regular season stumble. It was a spotlight moment, a night when the box score told one story and the free throw column screamed another. 33 chances for Minnesota, just 8 for New York, a stat so unbalanced it overshadowed everything else. For Breanna Stewart and the Liberty, the outrage wasn't about a single whistle. It was about what the whistles represented: momentum stolen, effort erased, and a game decided by anything but basketball. Sandy Brondello's words will linger. Just be fair, because fairness isn't just a coach's demand, it's the foundation of competition itself. Without it, the results feel hollow. So now the question is bigger than one game. Will the Liberty respond by channeling that anger into dominance, or will this night become part of a larger narrative? One where officiating shadows the league's brightest stars? What do you think? Was this just a bad night for the refs, or a deeper issue the WNBA can't afford to ignore? Drop your take in the comments, subscribe so you never miss the next breakdown, and get ready, because the story of this season is only heating up. If you've made it this far, you're officially part of the Central Hoops family. So hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest stories in the W. What's your take? Were the refs simply off their game, or was this loss handed to the Lynx at the line? Drop your thoughts below, because we want to hear from real fans like you. This is Central Hoops, where the game meets the truth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.